Okay, so let's just dive right in. For the longest time, when we heard cyber risk, we thought about, protecting our data, our passwords, our companies, but that idea is getting old fast. We're stepping into a completely new world where technology isn't just something we use, it's becoming a part of us. The lines between our bodies, our minds, and the battlefield are blurring in ways that are honestly both incredible and kind of terrifying.
And this isn't some fringe theory. The experts are basically sounding the alarm. According to the World Economic Forum, a staggering 93% of cyber leaders think a catastrophic cyber event isn't a matter of if it will happen, but when. And they're pointing to the next 2 years. That's soon.
And that alarm? It comes with a massive price tag. By 2025, it's projected that cybercrime will be costing the global economy $10.5 trillion every single year. Now, to put that into perspective for you, if cybercrime were a country, it would have the third largest economy on the planet, right behind the US and China.
Okay, and this is where the whole story just takes a massive turn. Because while we've all been busy worrying about our servers and our power grids and all the systems we use every day, the threat itself is changing. It's moving toward a target that we can't just patch or unplug, our own bodies. So first, to really get a handle on what's at stake here, let's just look at the sheer scale of the threat as the experts are seeing it right now.
And that's not a line from a movie. That's the Prime Minister of Albania, a guy whose country recently got hit by a huge cyber attack. His warning? It really gets to the core of this new world. We've gone way beyond just stealing data. We're in a reality now where attackers can actually turn the physical world into a weapon against us.
So if hackers can turn airplanes into weapons, what do you think is next? This brings us to the absolute heart of our explainer today. The new frontier for cyber attacks, it isn't a computer, it isn't a power grid. The new attack surface is the human body itself.
This visual just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you see the old target, right? A hospital, a piece of critical infrastructure. But look at the right. That's the new target. The fight is literally moving from the physical building to the biological and cognitive systems inside of us, all thanks to this explosion in neuroscience and neurotechnology.
This whole frontier really kicks off with this grassroots movement called biohacking. I mean, it's pretty much what it sounds like, a do-it-yourself approach to biology. The people who do this are driven by this desire to, upgrade their own bodies. They get frustrated with how slow traditional, regulated science is, so they argue for making these powerful tools available to everyone. But that impulse, that need to experiment outside the rules, well, it opens up a whole new can of worms when it comes to risk.
Now, if you think this is all just theoretical, check this out. This isn't a hypothetical risk. Back in 2017, the medical device company Abbott put out a security warning. They said that some of their implanted heart devices, like pacemakers, were vulnerable. An attacker, just standing nearby, could potentially hack the device, change its settings, or even just stop it cold. And if you can hack a heart, you know where this is going, right? The brain. Researchers have already come up with a name for this next terrifying step: brainjacking. We're talking about the potential for a hacker to literally seize control of a neural implant. I mean, just imagine someone being able to remotely cause you pain, erase a memory, or even influence a choice you make. This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's the predictable outcome of connecting the human brain to the internet.
And these aren't just threats from some lone wolf criminals anymore. When you can target biology and our minds at scale, you actually start to change the definition of war itself. This mashup of biology and technology is forcing us to write a whole new rulebook for a brand new kind of conflict.
Military strategists have seen this coming for a while. If you look at how conflict has evolved, you can see a really clear path. Back in the 2000s, we had hybrid war. That was mixing tanks with trolls, basically. Then came the three warfares idea, which targeted public opinion. So the logical and frankly chilling next step, which was imagined here in a report for NATO, is to make the human mind itself the official sixth domain of operations, right up there with land, sea, air, space, and cyber. This map from the World Economic Forum just shows the new reality perfectly. Yeah, it looks complicated, but the main takeaway is actually pretty simple. None of these risks live in a bubble anymore. Just follow the lines. You can see how something like cyber espionage connects to misinformation, which then fuels societal polarization, which in turn can spark an actual state-based conflict. In this century, everything is connected. So this whole web of connected risks, it leads us to the most personal battlefield of all, the fight for our own minds. Just look at this data. When experts were asked to name the most severe global risks, misinformation and societal polarization were ranked right up there with armed conflict between countries. The battle for what we believe is now seen as a threat on the same level as traditional war.
This quote, which came out of a NATO-sponsored study, is just so chilling because it perfectly captures how quiet this new kind of conflict is. It's this idea that the war for our perception, for our attention, is happening right now, all around us, and most of us don't even realize we're on the battlefield.
This incredible speed of technological change doesn't just create a security problem. It pushes us right up to a huge ethical crossroads.
On one side, you've got the biohacking movement. They're all about open access, about democratizing science, you know? They want to move fast and innovate. And on the other side, you've got the traditional scientific community. They operate on this idea of preventative ethics, basically a system of rules and safety checks designed to make sure things don't go horribly wrong.
And that clash of ideas, it all boils down to one huge question. As these technologies get more and more powerful, who gets to decide the rules? Who's going to set the boundaries for tools that could literally redefine what it means to be human?
And that leaves us with this really powerful image of a fractured world. It's a world where our greatest strengths, our amazing technology, our deep understanding of our own biology, are at the very same time becoming our biggest weaknesses.
And so we're left with one last, pretty sobering question to carry with us as we try to figure out this new frontier. A world where our very bodies and minds are the battlefield. What are we willing to give up for security? What's the ultimate price?